What's up, YouTube and Twitch fam? Thanks for joining me here on my channel, Chess with Steve, or Steve's Chess TV, if you know me from YouTube. Today we're looking at Game 3 in my current 10-game series from the white side of the Pirz or Park defense. Austrian attack, Weiss variation. In that exact German accent. Okay, but on a serious tip. Okay, we can look at a new game, perhaps. Like, I don't know why I'm doing accents tonight. Anyways, quite a treat today. Excellent players. Let's get the board up. This happened back in 2019, so about a year ago. Let's see, March. Yeah. So anyways, March of 2019, not that long ago, European Individual Chess Championship. With the white pieces, Giga Kuparadze. With the black, legendary Russian juggernaut, Vladimir Onishuk. No, not Kramnik, but Onishuk. Okay, maybe not juggernaut, but still fairly legendary grandmaster. But unfortunately, Onishuk goes down in this game to Kuparadze. So let's figure out what went wrong and look at the different ideas in this game. E4, D6, D4, G6, Knight C3, Bishop G7, F4. So we're firmly entering the Austrian attack. Knight F6, Knight F3, castles. And Bishop D3 is the Weiss variation. Knight A6, very typical move to combat this line. And castles. C5, somewhat resolving the center, not fully, but somewhat. D5, semi-closing it for now. Rook B8. A4, seizing space on the queen side. Knight C7. And now we see black often transferring that knight. Not only can it do a yeoman's job of guarding squares like B5, D5, it very often comes back to E8 in certain lines. Oops, sorry for that sound. Bishop C4, A6, A5, Knight B5, and not in love with this move by Onishuk. I feel like, let's see, probably Knight, Knight D7 is probably maybe a little better. I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe Knight B5 is the best in the position. Can we consider anything else? Okay, that would be a blunder. Don't want to do that. This is the thing, guys, when you're playing the Perk or Pirz defense as black, there are some positions in the opening that you have to be so insanely careful about move order, or you're simply worse. You're just simply worse. This is not a defense that necessarily, depending on certain structures in the position, gives you so many choices and almost equal opportunity to play different moves, different pieces. It's not that type of defense. Maybe later in the early middle game, maybe we can make an argument that yes, there's quite a few. There's some variety of moves that can be made. This is not one of them. I mean, could you go here? Yeah, but why would you? Could you strike out with this? No. Way too weak. And then could you play this? You could play this. This is borderline playable. And after this, and bishop takes, and bishop takes, and knight takes. White is better, certainly. Is there a win in sight? Very debatable. Very, very, very debatable. But again, black is somewhat very constricted in terms of the type and the variety of moves that he can play through this exact phase. You have to be laser guided. So we see knight b5. It's a fine move. Maybe it is the best in position. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and instead of knight takes back, which, believe it or not, leaves black somewhat, slightly, significantly better. And if you're laughing about why am I saying somewhat, slightly, significantly better, because often either side can kind of equalize if things haven't gone too wrong. But having said that, e6 is definitely better. And then Onishuk goes knight e8, obviously. Knight takes b5. Yeah, my glasses are dirty. Rook a8. Bishop b2. D takes. Knight takes. Queen grabs d5. This is not a great move, guys. This is not a great move for Onishuk to have played this, and it's a little shocking he would have essayed this move. Instead, something like bishop f5 is probably slightly better. But maybe in the long run of things, maybe this is... It's okay, but it's not great. And I really do think that bishop f5 is significantly better. But whatever, let's move on. Bishop e3. Queen e4. Queen d3. Trades. We're basically fully equal. Triple zeros. Bishop f5. Rook d1. Knight f6. Bishop e5, capturing a pawn. Knight into d5. G3. Let me my notation board up. I'll check my YouTube real quick. Okay. Trying to keep track on various chats, guys. If I miss something, bear with me. I apologize. It's hard to see all the windows at the same time. I'll do the best I can. But moving on. Rook f e8. b4. g5. Knight d4. And now black has some options and a few questions to answer. Where does he move the bishop? Bishop g6, of course. Knight e2. Takes. Knight takes f4. Knight takes b4. Now I'm wondering if... Yeah, he could have done this, and black is slightly better. Here, white is maybe slightly better. But either way, it's still basically a drawn game right for so far. For now. Rook takes bishop c5. Knight takes e7 check. King comes over. And where does the knight go? Rook ab1. Very, very precise. Now I'm wondering about... Oh, not that. Excuse me. Blunder. What about this? Is that... That's barely playable, but black is better. Don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to lose that pawn. That'd be losing in a nanosecond. Any other weird tricks? Don't think so. Oh, there is one other move. There's Rook A4. It's quite interesting. But overall, this is very, very precise by Kupraratsu. Bishop D4 check. King goes to H1. Knight C2. Knight ED5. Rook A7. Rook DC1. Rook exchanges in A5 and Rook F1. Again, this is basically a drawn game. King G8. King G8 is a very bizarre move played by Onishuk. You're moving away from supporting certain... Well, you're moving away from the F-pawn, you're moving away from the E-file. Black's king needs to think of every way possible to centralize and support pawns and pieces and become an attacker in the end game. We're in the end game, guys. Rook takes B7, Rook A1, takes, Bishop takes A1. White is now significantly better after, where was it? After this move right here. This is a mistake. I'm really not sure why he didn't just play H5 or H5 takes. You're dropping a knight. You can't do that. So I'm not sure why he didn't play H5 or if this, and guess what? You've got two minors for a rook. White is better here, but not by as much as you might think. This might be drawable. This really, really might be a draw. So, a lot of ways this could have gone. Oops. Go back. Where was I? Yeah, so right here, bishop takes A1. Knight into H5. H6. Knight HF4. Bishop D4. Rook B8 check. King H7. Rook E8. Rook A5. King G2. Starting to get active. Rook A1. Rook E2. Knight E1 check. King goes up to H3. Knight into F3. King goes to G4. Rook F1. This move here, guys, Knight F3 is not the best move for Onishuk to have played. It's a weak move and it plays into White's grubby palms more so than really offering up concrete lines of defensive attack, if you will. This is not a good move. Yes, you're going for cheapos, ha ha ha, and you win the rip. Not going to happen. A player of Giga Kuparatsu's skill level is not likely to fall into that. Instead, let's see, he had H5, and if takes, knight takes D3, and it's a game. White's slightly better, but a win probably not in sight. Maybe. After this, though, it's getting pretty dire for Black. Rook E7, King G8, H4, Knight E5 check, King H5. Knight takes d3. King takes. Pawn h6. Bishop g7 check. King goes back to g5. Knight e5. King e5. Knight g5. Check. King comes in. And instead of playing a boneheaded move like this and this, which, believe it or not, might still be winnable for white, but why would you throw away so much advantage? Instead, he wisely drops the knight back into h3, keeping lots of ideas in the position, or some ideas at any rate. I don't want to exaggerate. Bishop e5, guys. It is a howler from the depths of chess hell. This is the type of move that we as chess players often make, sadly. That's life. That's chess. And then either the instant after we've played it or a move or two later, it dawns on us. The light bulb goes off in the head. And we cannot believe what would compel us, why we would miss something so much better, oftentimes so much more obvious to play, something so much more logical to play, and the feeling that overwhelms one if we're not careful, or that comes over one self, is a mix of utter guilt, shame, annoyance, anger, frustration, regret, bitterness, not really, but just an overwhelming sense that we have really dropped the ball, that all of our chess skills just went down the commode in one move. Bloop. That's not true, of course, but yes, we do lose games like that, or yes, we go from a crushing win to a meager draw. I'm drawing. Ugh. Imagine being up 12 points of material and you play one wrong move and you're getting perpetually checked. Game over, draw. Oh, you were up a queen and a bishop, but now you're just drawing. Oh, oh, so sad, so pathetic. Now, I'm not saying any of this to make light of Vladimir Onishuk, who is a legendary grandmaster. So many incredible victories in his long career. But I say that to highlight the fact that... Grab a sip of my cappuccino. To highlight the fact that we all make mistakes. We all blunder. I don't care if you are a freaking Vishwanathan Anand or Gary Kasparov or Magnus Carlsen, or if you're one of these other super creative attacking players like Julian Hodgson from the old glory days of England, or Alexander Morozevich, or Badur Yobaba, or Mamadirov, or going back to the greats. If you're even Bobby frickin' Fischer, at some point you will repeatedly either blunder straight out, or you will at least play a sequence of mistakes less than perfect moves, and you will either go from winning to drawing or from drawing to losing that quick. And that's life. Get over it. Get better. Play more. Study your theory. Study your structure. Get a feel for the board, for structure, for where should I put my pieces? How can I move my king to support king pawns, pieces, shoulder out the enemy king? How can I move my queen the best? There's so many points of emphasis as chess players that, you know, that even great players, even IMs and GMs and hot FMs, either somewhat routinely struggle with, or they just don't always get it right. And it just shows that we have not only such a room for growth, but, you know, rook endgames are about the hardest aspect of endgames in the world. Rook endgames. And especially if there's multiple pieces on, like a rook and a knight versus a rook and a bishop, or a rook and two bishops versus a rook and two knights, any kind of variation like that. With two pawns, one pawn, seven pawns, those are amongst the hardest to kind of get a grip on. I'm gonna go zap this coffee. I'll be right back. Bear with me. I'm gonna go warm this up. Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry for that little short impromptu break. I had to go zap that what little coffee I have left. Horse on e3, white. Yes, that is correct, Jeremy. It's no. Well, wait a minute. No, the white's variation is based on the bishop. Let me briefly show you if you're still there, Jeremy. Are you still there? Okay, I'm on move 51, so help me remember that, guys. Let me answer Jeremy's question real quick. If we go all the way back to the opening, the Weiss variation is this move right here. It's 6 or move 6, bishop d3 is the Weiss variation. It's that move right there. So I hope that helps. Not that it really matters. I mean, it's most Pyrrhic defenses are highly similar to each other. So, anyways, getting back to move 51. Let me get on back here. And we'll. So, anyways, knight goes into e3. Check. I mean, excuse me, not check, but it's a tempo on the rook, obviously, on f1. Now we see rook f6. And I should point out, guys, that the game is utterly lost for Vladimir Onishuk. And I'm not showing this game to like throw any kind of negativity on Vlad. I mean, he's a legendary grandmaster. We all win games, we all lose games. This is not any kind of, let's gang up and look at a game that Vladimir Onishuk lost. Who cares about that? We all lose games. We all win games. We often draw chess games. So that's neither here nor there. Let's not make it about who won and who lost. That's not what this is about. It's about understanding the game. It's about understanding chess. Knight g5 check. One square to go to. King g7. King g4. Bishop d6. Knight f5 check. I would point out, if I go back to here, this move here was a mistake, technically, by Kuparadze. Instead, he had knight g4 here, much more dangerous, forking these two pieces instantly. And after something like bishop d4, trying to escape, you simply grab the heavy piece, and after something like this, the rook goes b8. Admittedly, a strange move to find, somewhat. And let's say bishop c3. Rook b7. Getting on this, obviously, you want to check or pin. So king goes to g8. Knight takes f. So you don't want to take with the rook. That's inaccurate. This knight has to go somewhere, so it goes to f8. Knight check. And now Stocky's already announcing it's about something like mate in 20. I'm not going to go through that line. It's just to demonstrate that, yeah, it's over. But whatever. Again, king g4, bishop d6. Knight f5 check. Rook takes f5, king takes, bishop takes g3, h5, knight e5, knight e4, knight c4, king g5, bishop e5, h6 check, king h7, king h5, f6, rook e7, and Grandmaster Vladimir Onishuk resigned to the significantly slightly lower rated Giga Kuparadze, still very powerful Grandmaster. And the way this line would go, if you're curious, not that it matters, it's now mate in 6, guys. It's that bad, yes. King goes to g8. Then we have king goes to g6. King f8. Rook f7. Check. Let's say knight, king goes here. h7. f5. Oh. Don't wanna do that yet. Oop, my bad. I played the knight f6. Takes. King takes. This is a nothing burger move. And finally,
mate.
Checkmate. So that's going to do it, guys. I would normally run back through the game, but I've got other things going on right now, and I got to kind of bounce for the night. Thanks so much. You can rewind the game if you want and go through it. Fun game. Thanks so much for joining my live cast. Thank you, Jeremy, and whoever else is out there watching me on Twitch. It's been a pleasure. We